Hey guys! So in this video, we are going to be talking about how to make new friends anywhere, and this is really exciting because I feel like life is about love and friendships are one of the most underrated things in the world. So we live in a new world, the corona world, and for some places that are still shut down, there seems to be a lot of limited options in order to meet new people. But I would love to share with you guys some ideas that you can try out that still work in this world to meet a lot of great new people. I recently moved to a brand new city. I had no friends here. Actually, I knew one person. He didn't want to talk to me, and that was it. No one else, blank slate. So how did I make new friends? I looked for Facebook groups that had like a lot of the same interests as me, and I'm vegan. I love all vegans. I don't know why, I love them. And I got into that group and I would make a post, hey, I'm new in town, looking to explore, would love to meet any other vegan people that are looking for new like-minded friends. I'm really positive, I love to work on personal development, I love events, a little bit about me, and then people would like comment down below, and about 40% of those comments I would be able to start a conversation with. About 30% of that we were able to maintain the connections, and then about like 10% of that we actually met up in real life, and it was actually really fun and very much worth it. The next thing that I did was actually Bumble BFF, and there's some kind of like hate sometimes towards other people. They act like it's kind of sad if you have to use like an app to find friends, but you know what? This is a new world. You just do what you gotta do. Your intention is to find new friends, and if anybody wants to judge you, they're judging you for something else, and they're judging your best friend for something else, and they're judging your mom for something else, and they're judging the world for something else, and then they look in the mirror and they judge themselves. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyways, so I think if you find yourself a Bumble group, because a lot of the people on Bumble like to make a lot of new friends and then like start a group, and they'll make like Bumble BFF groups, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, after that, there are also other apps. Like there's something called Entre, and it's entrepreneurs social networking, but it's kind of like a social media for that. And it's kind of new, but I even already started a post, and I'm really excited to meet some of the new people from there that are local. And beyond that, for the events that still do exist, it's always nice to be able to reach out to someone and say, hey, like, you know, just start a new conversation, I guess. And there goes my next point. If you want to be able to start a new conversation anywhere, you would typically have to approach someone new, and this is usually like the most terrifying thing for me sometimes. It's like nerve-wracking to approach someone and like say something new, and this used to be the hardest thing for me. I would usually like push myself to do it, but it's really easy, and like people tend to be like more open when you start off with something like straightforward. You know what I'm saying? Like it's awkward if you just go up to someone and you're like, hey, how are you? Or, hey, what are you up to? Yeah, it's just awkward. But then if you like go up to someone and like you have a reason, then that usually like people are more open to. And I'm gonna be honest, even if you do have a reason, some people are like usually caught off guard. Like people aren't used to other strangers talking to like new people, you know, because I guess it's not normal in our world, but it's still something that I think should be encouraged. Like, we're all just friends that we haven't met yet, you know? And it just takes one hello, one conversation to meet somebody that could be your best friend, you know? I mean, the love of your life is cute, but let's be real. They're probably gonna take a while to get here. So for now, we gonna find your bestie. And something that's really easy is usually like a genuine compliment. I think those are amazing, because whether these like new people end up liking you or not, like you still spreaded positive energy and you still spread love into this world, and it just feels good to like say something nice. And another good thing is usually sometimes a question. Like if you're genuinely curious about something about somebody, then it's usually good to ask, you know? Like I know if somebody has good hair, I'm gonna ask them where they got it done, because I've really been needing to get my hair done soon. And it's just a nice conversation to start and spark up. But from that simple approach, whether you just start off with like a compliment or like with a question, in order to really create more connections, it takes pushing beyond more than that. And something that you would have to do is start asking them questions. And some of them can be small talk if you want, but I'm typically someone like, I don't find interest in normal questions. And like questions usually everyone asks you like, oh, so how many siblings do you have? Stuff like that. Like, of course, if you run out of things to say, go for it. But if you don't, I think that if you create a deeper question, if you create something more unique, it makes the conversation for everybody more memorable, and it makes it more fun in a way. I typically like to ask deep questions, but I know I have to start off with something basic. So my typical go-to is usually like, oh, what do you do for fun outside of work? Because I don't really like to ask people what they do for work. I feel like that's like, I don't know, it's just not a fun thing to ask, in my opinion. I try to avoid it, but sometimes you can't. Like, there's bad questions and there's good questions, and then there's just awkward silence. And when the awkward silence comes, ask whatever the fuck comes to your head, you know what I'm saying? And okay, my go-tos are usually like, what do you like to do for fun? I used to ask people, oh, I'd get to their interest, like, they're like, oh yeah, I like basketball. I'd be like, oh yeah, what's your favorite thing about basketball? An easy thing that's like positive oriented, because I always try to keep my questions positive. I don't want to ask things that are gonna make people feel bad or feel negative. Is your favorite thing? Like, you have kids, what's your favorite thing about your kid? Or you're like, this is what I do for work. Awesome, what's your favorite thing about your job? And beyond that, like, finding out what people like to do for fun and getting really interested in like the specifics of that. I think the more interested you are, the more genuine questions you have, the more people want to open up and share, and the more deeper of a connection that you get to create. Now, after that, I would usually say like prolong the conversation for about like what feels right in the moment based on them and also based on you. And you kind of just get a gut feeling. I really don't know how to explain it 100%, but when the conversation dries out, deep, but in a nice way. And another like challenging aspect of this whole cycle is at the end of the conversation, you usually have to be like asking for each other's contact information. And sometimes it feels difficult and like scary because you're like, no, what if I get rejected? But the best thing to usually say is, are you on social media? Let's connect. And I think it's like, for me, when I first did this, like a whole year ago, I was like so scared to ask because I feel like I was gonna get rejected or something. Or yeah, people would just like get the wrong idea. And I'm like, I'm just friendly, guys. But a good way is what I always do. I don't make eye contact with people. I look at my phone. I'm like, oh yeah. I'll be like, oh yeah, are you on social media? We should connect. And it's just easier because like if you're someone who might be a little like me, like I'm scared of rejection, guys, and you don't want to like, you just don't want to face it like that. You just say like, just look down at your phone, you know? And a lot of times people usually say yeah, and it's easy to connect, and it's really like simple and relaxed. And social media is good because like if someone's on Facebook, you see all their posts. If someone's on Instagram, you see their stories. And if someone's on Snapchat, they have stories. Every social media has stories now. Wow. Why am I realizing this now? And anyways, it's just easier because like in the future, you can look at their social media, and if they have post stories, you can swipe on it and react on it and say, oh, this is cute. Or if you genuinely have a question, you can be like, hey, where'd you get this? And that can open up a possibility for a new conversation. And it's easier than if you just get like a phone number, and then 2 weeks from now, you're supposed to be like, hey, how have you been? And they're like, good, how about you? But either way, phone number is good too. It is. Whatever means you have to connect is important. And I would say after the interaction, just try starting a conversation through that. And then the ultimate goal is to, you know, try and invite them, to ask them if they want to hang out in real life, you know? And that's usually the best because hanging out with people in real life is everything, you know? I would also try and get a sense of how people are right after you leave them. Hey, Mr. Chester, thank you for the second like, I appreciate it. So some people, they really enjoy like conversations over text, but some people like me, like We are not texters. We just want to say, hey, this is when we're going to hang out. Okay, great. And then we just hang out, and then we never talk again. And then we say, hey, this is when we're going to hang out, and we never talk again. Like, some people, they want to be texted. Some people want a conversation through text to feel like that's how they know that you care about them. But some people, they don't want to go through that. Other people might be too busy. Other people might feel like conversations over text are just always dry. So trying to get a sense for that, and then being able to know which route to take with each person. And the truth is that, like, you can meet a lot of new people, and it can be really, really fun and exciting. But most of the new people you meet, if I'm gonna be honest, you might not ever talk to again. I spoke to over 300 people in the last year, in 2019, and one of the biggest reality hits for me was that I wasn't gonna be friends like with the majority of people that I met, and I was never gonna talk to the majority of people that I met. And it felt like a lot of what I was doing was kind of meaningless, and it felt like, why am I talking to so many people? It just ends all the time. Breakups. But what I decided upon was that it's about the experiences and being able to add that to each other's life. And the truth is that best friends, like, they do come, but they also go too. But when your best friends come, like, when I was talking to so many people, I talked to like over like 250 before I met one that actually ended up being really close with. And it's weird because best friends never come out of someone who has to put in 90% of the effort. Best friends come when it's both 50-50, and they're unicorns. Like, you talk to so many people and then you meet the unicorn at the unicorn. Okay. And then and when you meet that best friend, it's just like, it's so natural. It's not like there is no all these like steps that I'm sharing with you, every route to take. It's all over. Your best friend, she just shows up. She or he just shows up, and there is no magic formula. There is no routine for what you need to say. It just happens, and you guys get to hang out and have fun and enjoy life together, and it's just effortless. And that's what I hope for all of you guys. I hope whatever you're looking for, whether you just want a bunch of new people or you just want that best friend, that's everything, you know? And the truth is, like, sometimes you think something's it, you know what I'm saying? I spent a lot of time alone, and I just thought, maybe if I just had like best friends, then my life would be amazing. Not best friends, but also friends. But that's not it. Like, I feel like sometimes we think something's it for us, you know? Some people think travel is it. I went to 6 different cities in 6 months, and traveling wasn't it. It was amazing, and friends are amazing, but none of them are it, you know? I just want to be honest with you, for if you're looking for the it thing. And